Thanks for tuning in to Bourbon Drop. I'm your host, Myron. Today, we've got all the way from Washington, Woodinville. This is a single barrel pick by Sip Whiskey. Let's get into it.
Bottle drop, bottle drop, bottle drop.
If you're a fan of Woodinville small batch, I think you're gonna like this. No, really, I really think you're gonna like this. This is a single barrel, and I've never even seen a single barrel pick for Woodinville. Go on to Sip Whiskey, they've got a single barrel pick. I couldn't resist. I had to get it. I wanted to do a review. I really like the regular small batch Woodinville at 90 proof. So I couldn't wait to get my hands on something with a little more proof, get a lot more of the concentrated flavors that are in more of the higher proof stuff. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Now the first thing that I'll tell you is, it is a Sip Whiskey pick. No, I'm not sponsored by Sip Whiskey. I said this in the last video. If you guys want to sponsor me, I'm not stopping you. But at this point, no, I'm not sponsored by Sip Whiskey. Now, Woodinville Small Batch was the first bourbon that I've ever gotten the blueberry note out of. And as soon as I popped this open and I poured it in a glass, as I was putting it back down to the side, it just hit me in the face. It's heavy blueberry, heavy vanilla, a little bit of oak. Some apples. You do get a slight sour green apple in there. No, more like a red apple. The blueberry is the most prevalent thing on there. There's a light cream, but it's a light cream. And a little bit of earthiness. Now, this thing comes in at 120.86, and if you watched the last video, you remember me talking about them being very specific on their pick for the Frey Ranch and them being very specific on their pick for the Woodinville. The Frey Ranch, the mash bill, that's their own thing. They're specific on that, but the proof on that thing was just like to the next level. But this right here at 120.86 proof, so basically you're almost at 121 proof. And I just want to tell you, the notes that it gives off are everything in the regular Woodinville just turned way up. Now let's get into the palate. It's juicy. It's juicy. It's a little thin. I'm not going to say that is the oiliest bourbon I've ever had. It is a little thin, but it is very juicy. I mean, you get those apples, you get the plum, you get a little bit of raisin, you get the blueberry. It's almost like if you had a blueberry muffin, the little mini baked blueberry muffins, and you dipped it in chocolate. It finishes with a lot of chocolate. It dances on the sides of the tongue. I'm feeling it now. Let's go back in for a second sip. Yeah, the nose is all blueberries. Yeah, that thinness on the palate is the only ding that I will give this Woodinville single barrel. This thing is starting to shine through with a little bit of caramel, a little bit of vanilla is starting to come through. The blueberry is heavy, very heavy. I'm even picking up a little bit of grape, kind of that Buffalo Trace grape. This thing is good. This thing is really good. Let's get into the breakdown. There's not a chase, so I'm not going to get into a chase. Would I recommend it to a new bourbon drinker? I do think this is calm enough for me to give to a new bourbon drinker. It's not super spicy to where it's going to really hurt them, kick them in the face, burn their face off. This thing right here, I believe, will go down pretty smooth. For me, it went down pretty smooth. It's really, really good. And I think that a new bourbon drinker would appreciate the flavors that the higher proof brings to it. Would I pay over retail? The regular WOODENVILLE, I believe, goes for about 40 bucks. So it's pretty much double of the regular WOODENVILLE. The WOODENVILLE single barrel, I believe I paid $74.99, so basically $75. So it's almost double the price of your regular WOODENVILLE. I wouldn't go any further over retail. I think, once again, it is priced appropriately. I wouldn't sit in line and pay any extra. If it did come to my market and I was really hurting for a bottle, maybe $5 over retail, but I don't think that I would go any further over retail. No, let me take that back. 75 is a lot. 75 is a lot. I don't think I'd go past what they asked for. Yeah, 75 is my mark. That is where I would stay at. I wouldn't go any higher than that. Would I always like to keep a bottle on the bar? It is good enough for me to always want to keep a bottle on the bar. However, it is a single barrel and it is a pick. So once it's gone, it's gone. I don't think I'll ever find something like this again. Now, if I ever get another store pick or single barrel pick from a website for WOODENVILLE and it tastes similar and I can say, hey, they do maintain a certain flavor profile, then I would probably buy a second one and maybe a third one. But as far as keeping it on the bar, yes, I would love to keep it on the bar. How long is it going to stay on the bar? I don't know, because I like it that much. I actually can see myself going back to this one when I want something that's high proof, something that's flavorful, and something that's just really well rounded. So with that being said, let the whiskey flow. Never run out unless you're headed to a drop. Till next time.